Welcome to this explainer on the sea star sea turtles. Today, we're diving straight into the absolutely magnificent and seriously ancient world of these incredible ocean travelers. To really grasp the ocean's vast history, we have to look closely at the creatures that have been navigating its depths for millennia.
So let's kick things off with a pretty massive question. Can you guess what gentle, shelled creature has literally shared our planet with a mighty T-Rex? It is just wild to think about how many apex predators have come and gone, while this particular animal quietly adapted and survived to still swim alongside us today.
Yep, you guessed it, it's the sea turtle. I mean, just look at how absolutely stunning they are. Watching them glide through the water with such grace, their flippers moving almost like wings. They're essentially flying through the aquatic world they've mastered over eons.
It's crazy to think about this contrasting history. While massive dinosaurs were dominating the land, these gentle reptiles were already navigating prehistoric oceans, long before the first humans ever appeared. And while the dinosaurs faced cataclysmic extinction, the ancestors of our modern sea turtles found ways to survive and just kept on swimming.
To really put that into perspective for a second, they've been on Earth for over 100 million years. 100 million! That's an almost unimaginable amount of time. They've outlasted shifting continents, massive climate swings, you name it. Their biological design is so perfectly tuned that it's barely needed to change over all those millennia.
So what exactly makes a sea turtle, well, a sea turtle? Basically, they are large, gentle marine reptiles equipped with powerful paddle-like flippers and a super hard shell. Unlike your typical land turtle, their bodies are perfectly streamlined for ocean life. Sure, they trade off the ability to pull their limbs inside, but that shape is exactly what lets them migrate thousands of miles across open currents. Okay, let's inject a quick bit of turtle trivia here. Considering they share a family tree with some incredibly fierce prehistoric predators, do these guys actually have teeth to chew their food? Knowing they eat some pretty tough stuff, it's a completely logical assumption.
Surprisingly, no way. They don't have teeth at all. Instead, they use incredibly strong beaks to snap up and crush their food. And get this, their beaks are made of keratin, literally the exact same protein material that makes up our fingernails. Depending on what they eat, the shape of that beak has perfectly adapted over millions of years.
Moving on to our next section, the Magnificent Seven. Out of all the turtles out there, the entire sea turtle family tree boils down to just 7 special species. You've got the green, loggerhead, hawksbill, leatherback, olive ridley, Kemp's ridley, and the flatback. Together, they populate almost every single ocean basin across the globe, from warm tropical waters to surprisingly chilly depths. And depending on the species, their diets are incredibly diverse. We're talking everything from crushing tough crabs and sea sponges to peacefully grazing on seaweed to even hunting elusive jellyfish in the open water. Having such specialized diets is actually brilliant because it means they aren't all competing with each other for the exact same food.
The green sea turtle plays a particularly cool role, though. As adults, they're mostly plant eaters, essentially acting as the ocean's dedicated gardeners. By constantly grazing on seagrass, they keep it from getting too tall, which keeps the whole underwater meadow healthy. And that's absolutely critical, because those beds provide a nursery for thousands of other marine species.
All right, time for another quick trivia question. Just like the turtles you might see at a local pond, can sea turtles tuck their heads and limbs inside their shells when danger approaches? It's the classic defense mechanism we all think of, right?
Actually, scratch that classic image because no, they can't hide at all. Their hard shells are permanently fused to their ribcage and spine. They're essentially wearing their bones on the outside. It makes their core incredibly rigid and strong against intense ocean pressure, even if it does cost them the ability to tuck away.
Let's dive deeper into life under the waves.
Now, even though they spend their whole lives in the sea, remember, they are reptiles. They can't actually breathe underwater, so they have to regularly pop up for air. But their lungs are so incredibly efficient. By slowing their heart rate way down to just a few beats a minute, they can miraculously hold their breath for hours while resting in the deep. And when they're not resting, they can be surprisingly athletic. We're talking swimming up to 20 miles per hour when they really need to book it. Usually that burst of speed kicks in if they're chasing down a quick meal, or more importantly, trying to outswim an apex predator like a killer whale or a tiger shark. Now let's talk about how it all begins, the hatchling journey. This incredible, potentially century-long life all starts right on the sand.
Baby turtles, we call them hatchlings, dig their way out of their buried nests, usually dead of night, and make this frantic dash straight for the waves. It is literally a perilous race for survival against seabirds and crabs from the exact second they're born.
To actually find the ocean, they rely on this powerful, ancient instinct. They follow the brightest horizon over the water. For millions of years, that was just the moonlight reflecting on the waves. But today, artificial lights from coastal cities can totally confuse them, which is exactly why keeping our beaches dark and natural is absolutely vital for that first journey into the deep.
Which brings us to our most important section, protecting our shelled friends.
You know, sea turtles are absolutely essential for a healthy ocean ecosystem. They act as what we call a keystone species. They keep jellyfish populations from exploding out of control, they groom the seagrass, they balance the coral reefs. If their numbers drop, it creates a massive ripple effect that destabilizes the whole complex marine food web. But sadly, despite surviving literally since the age of the dinosaurs, these ancient travelers are heavily endangered right now. And the main culprits are human-made. We're talking plastic pollution, which they easily mistake for jellyfish, getting tangled up in commercial fishing nets, climate change messing with their nesting sands, and the rapid loss of their coastal habitats.
When we actually step up and mitigate those threats, the result is exactly this: a beautifully vibrant, interconnected ecosystem. A clean, thriving ocean isn't just a win for the sea turtles that have called it home for over 100 million years, it ensures that thousands of other species relying on them continue to flourish too.
So, knowing how incredibly resilient, yet completely vulnerable the sea turtles really are, I want to leave you with this thought. What steps can you take today to help protect them and keep our oceans clean for the next 100 million years?